most parents have messed up their kids in one way or the other. If you're watching this video right now and you can relate to one or more of these, or you find yourself asking the question, did I come from a dysfunctional family? Is my family toxic? Then it most likely is. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rika Girly Speaks. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more spiritual and psychological tips to make life a bit easier for you. And if you enjoyed this video, please share with your friends. So as you can see from the title below, we're going to be talking about how our parents messed us up. First thing I want to point out is the fact that there's no perfect parents. There's no perfect child. And you know, sometimes we have to realize that our parents are human beings and they can make mistakes, so that we wouldn't place so much like unrealistic expectations on them, and so we wouldn't get disappointed by things that they do. Like I said, it's not intentional. It's when you grow older and you're able to realize some of these things that you're like, whoa, I went through that, and this is why I probably behave this way now. However, there is hope. You can always get help, and it's not the end of the world. I cannot overemphasize the importance of healing. You know, if you're someone that is planning to be a future mother, a future father, a future wife, a future husband, please heal. And don't let your kids or your spouse suffer innocently for wounds that they didn't create inside of you. It's not fair. So I always try to encourage people, even myself, there's still things I need to heal from. Therapy is there, and a relationship with God is so important. God can truly heal one's wounds. I'm a living witness of that. So let's just get into the 6 types of children that come from dysfunctional families. Number 1, the hero. So this child has to be like super perfect. This child tries to be the star or the silver lining in the messed up family situation. So the child is an overachiever, perfectionist. They accomplish a lot, achieve a lot, get a lot of awards. Usually it's maybe on top of the class, doing very, very well. So the parents would be like, well, maybe we're not so bad, you know, at parenting because we're able to raise such a child. Or the community would be like, well, maybe their family is not so bad. I mean, look at the child that they were able to raise. But nobody knows that deep down inside, this child actually feels a lot of anxiety. This child finds it difficult to create intimate relationship with others. They find it difficult to love and be loved. The child does not ever feel fulfilled or satisfied because nothing is ever good enough for that child. Despite their achievements, they don't feel fulfilled. Number 2, the scapegoat. So this child is usually the one that all fingers are pointing towards. Blaming goes to this child. The family usually uses this child as a form of example, a negative example for the rest of the children. This child usually has to just, you know, be that person that all the blame is on, because the family needs an outlet. They need something or someone to point to in order to prevent themselves from realizing their own flaws and their own deficiencies as individuals. So this child usually ends up becoming one of 2 things: either very rebellious, maybe like a leader of a cult, or the leader of like mean girls, end up becoming bullies, or becoming bullied. They end up becoming that person that everybody picks on because they're so used to being that person that, you know, people treat badly, people look down on, so they just kind of place themselves in that position. Even with their peers, this child is usually liable to developing or engaging in risky behaviors. This child usually acts out, is very rebellious. The parents don't realize that they are the cause of the problems, and this child is just acting out. This child usually is able to clearly like point out and identify the areas in which the family has issues in, and if you talk to this child, the child will be able to tell you the truth. This child is one that usually is very realistic and honest about the family situation. They tell you how it is. They know where the problem lies. But this child can suffer from a low self-esteem. The child can be depressed, and the child can really, you know, feel useless in the world or feel as if they're a problem and they end up not amounting to anything because that's the idea that has been created for them, and they just continue to live on in that. Number 3, you have the mascot. If you look at this child, you think, oh, this child, everything is okay with this child. This child is funny, is the one that's cute, you know, always cracking you up, always making jokes. It's not every time that the class clown may be the mascot, but it is very possible also that the class clown is a mascot. They use humor to hide or to distract the family from the tension and the issues and the problems. They feel like, okay, well, things are bad. The only thing I can do is to lighten up the mood. So they're just sort of like comic relief. They just try to just make people laugh and make people happy because they're so used to being around sad people. And the sad part is that nobody makes them happy. So they smile a lot and they're cracking jokes and they're funny, but deep down inside they're really sad and lonely. Number 4, we have the dreamer or the lost child. This child is usually maybe like if you have 3 children, this child is usually like the second born, the middle child. No one seems to really pay close attention to them. They seem to be doing well on their own though, but like they're not really praised and they're not really criticized. They're just there. They go about their daily activities as they're meant to. They don't bring too much attention on themselves. They usually lose themselves in maybe books or fantasies. They dream a lot. They just don't. They feel like, you know, there's already the scapegoat and there's already the perfect child and the class clown. Like they feel like there's no other role to fit into. So they're just there, you know, just going through life, just there. And they just kind of learn to shut down their emotions and to shut down their opinions and just to go with the flow. Next, you have the addict. Yes, you have the addict. This child usually becomes an addict because they try to look for solace or comfort. They try to look for comfort or solace in psychoactive substances, in drinking, and etc. I think it could actually go with the scapegoats, but then it could also be very different. The family, instead of blaming this child, the family tends to now transfer all the attention on caring for this child, helping this child, trying to make this child feel better. So that's just a difference in the response of the family or the parents to the child is the difference, but they can actually be the same or merge. So you have the addict, the child who just tries to find solace and comfort in psychoactive substances and things that are outside of the family because they're not happy in the family and the environment is just too toxic and they just can't handle it. Last but not least, you have the caregiver. Now this child's role is to act as a parent because maybe the parents are unable to play their roles. So one of the children has to step up and be that parent. This child tends to enable a lot of wrong behavior. They just want to just keep the peace in quotes, but they end up making excuses for wrong behaviors of their parents, thereby hindering them from fixing issues that they need to fix. They just try to be there for everyone, just try to make sure that everyone is taken care of. They just do so much, they give so much of themselves, and they tend to be attracted to people that they also feel they need to take care of. So they tend to be attracted to people who are also really messed up and just they feel like it's their job to fix people and to help people, and it's very dangerous because nobody really helps them and they're never really happy or satisfied or fulfilled. So those are the 6 types of children that can come out of a dysfunctional or toxic family. I feel like a lot of families are actually dysfunctional or toxic in a way, especially African families. And it's just a cycle that continues until you're able to break that. So if you're watching this video and you do feel like you're that child, please get help and please be more intentional about your relationship with God, because God can truly, through Christ, we are overcomers. We are more than conquerors. And let that cycle end with you. Do not continue that into the next generation. Please don't allow your children to continue to suffer for your lack of healing. So that's just it for today's video, you guys. I hope that you've really learned a lot from this. Only God is perfect, although we're meant to strive for perfection. We're meant to be like Christ, and we ourselves should not continue to make all those same mistakes that our parents made. So that's all for today. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye. God bless you.